OpenSciEd, lightning interview, student-facing video. Two interviewees speak in a nondescript location with the interviewer out of frame.
My name's Maddie.
My name's Gabby.
Can you just give sort of like a brief recap of what happened?
So we were actually in this room co-working, both on our laptops, and just at the window, a big thunderstorm had rolled in. And so as we were working, I feel like you should take it from here.
We were both sitting down and listening to music, I think. And I personally felt all of a sudden just some kind of buzzing feeling. And then my hair stood up on end. And maybe a half second after that sensation, there was like a huge flash of lightning outside, really bright and really loud, to where we were both really alarmed. And after that, I stood up and felt really activated and started like walking around, and I went back in and spoke to Gabby and said, "Did you feel that?"
Yes, and then Wi-Fi was out. I had been in the middle of a call, but all the power went out, and it was very clear that something had struck close to the house. And as we were looking outside, all of my neighbors were out on their porches as well, kind of looking around, because clearly there had been some lightning on our block.
Wow. Maddie mentioned like the buzzing and the hair standing up. Did you experience anything like that too?
I was a little distracted by just being on the call, but I definitely felt just the rumbling in my whole body of just when the lightning struck, that there was huge sound and the kind of buzzing feeling of like, wow, that's a lot of electricity in the air.
Did you happen to look at like any other appliances like elsewhere, or just like in this room did you notice? Or
all the lights went out and everything turned off.
Okay.
Unless it had its own power source, like my laptop stayed on, but all the lights went off, and so there were of course beepings as stove or oven were turning back on in their clocks. Yeah.
There was the big flash, and then sort of take me through what happened in the moments after.
There was a big flash, and it almost seemed like it had struck next door, or like on the block. It was like very close. And her husband came up from downstairs working in the basement because he was like, "What was that?" And he and I went outside and looked around, and like Gabby was saying, a lot of the neighbors had come out of their house to be like, where did that strike? Because it had to be so close. And the power went out, like she mentioned, and lots of beeping, and it took a little bit for it to turn back on, like 15 minutes or so. And then everything was okay.
Give me some more specifics of like what were the conditions outside like?
It wasn't raining. It was just overcast, and that real humid feeling when you go outside. It was very humid out and just very gray, but it hadn't started raining, and it had been thundering a little bit, but it had been further away. So it was a bit surprising how close this was all of a sudden.
But definitely big cumulonimbus clouds just right above. I feel like I could see them just out there, and it felt like they were on the move. Like I would see the clouds shifting pretty quickly.
Okay. Cumulonimbus clouds, what are those?
They're the big cumulus clouds, but the nimbus part means that it's a storm cloud.
Okay.
The video ends. OpenSciEd.